a total of 3 streams left of Star Trek Voyager. We're so close to the end. And today's going to be Q2, which is... it's about Q, and there's 2 of them. Is there... no, there's not 3. The mom doesn't show up. And John Delancey... I mean, John Delancey's always great. He's sort of in that... how do I describe it? So, when we first see him, he's fairly youthful. He's got his weird, solid, black dyed hair. He's pretty intense. And by the time we see him later, in, like, Picard, he went, like, full Silver Fox. He's a handsome old man. Here he's sort of in the middle. He's a middle-aged Q. He's got, oh, maybe he looks a little bit rough, but that's probably because he's got a teenager who's just, like, driving him insane. Yeah, that makes sense. The second episode, Author. It's all about Robert Picardo and holographic rights, and it's a holodeck episode. It's a holodeck episode about hologram rights. But the holograms within the holodeck don't have rights. They're fake holograms. They're like base level holograms. And then what do we have? Friendship 1, which Friendship 1 is the episode that they redid in Enterprise and called it Terra Nova. I still think Terra Nova is better, but Friendship 1 is still really good. There's a bunch of people with skin conditions, and there's a bunch of radiation, so they get to go in those white spacesuits. And Tom is there. Oh, Lieutenant Carey's there. This is the episode where they remember that Lieutenant Carey exists from season 1. Writers just straight up forgot about him, but he's back. It's fine. Everything's fine. Young Q does seem a little, Berman-esque. He has some weird interactions with Seven. He's pretty petulant. He's not a great guy. I don't know if he's a self-insert, but he's definitely Berman-esque. That's all I really got to say about the episodes. How's the weather?
It's been pretty nice. Well, you wouldn't like it, but I've been thinking it's nice. It's very sunny.
Sun. Gross.
But not too warm. Yeah.
By not too warm, you mean like 62 Fahrenheit, right?
I mean like 70.
Gross. What's even the point of existing in those temperatures?
I mean, it's better than when it was in the 80s last week.
What? Sounds awful.
You live in California.
Yeah, but not in... California's a big state. We have various climates.
Fair enough.
Like,
Still warmer than
San
Oregon,
Diego
though.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's way too hot. Sacramento's pretty hot. Around here, no, it's chill. Literally and figuratively. Let's see, what else is going on? Todd Howard still won't let me play Starfield, which is very distressing. We're coming up on America's birthday. 240 something. Not quite as old as Q. Q's birthday was, zero... Wait, no. No, the Q aren't eternal. Didn't they used to be basically humans and they, like, ascended through technology or something? What's the deal with Q? They're not eternal.
Yeah.
As Picard recently emphasized.
Yeah. Which distressed me. Because, like, they kind of made a big deal out of them being eternal.
Well, kinda. What I am making a big deal of is that you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Because I guess they explicitly state that the Q aren't omnipotent, Yeah, Q himself is like, I'm ageless, Picard. I can wait. It's like, turns out you're not, bud. Captain Kirk, are they just doing nostalgia for us?
Yeah.
Substituting writing?
You can't. No, not in Star Trek.
In my Star Trek, nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
There was two.
Yeah, the idea of shortening the report about Captain Kirk, that's not going so well in the real world. We're just getting more and more. Just the era of 60 Trek continues eternally.
Yeah.
God, frick. There he is. There's John Delancey. I don't care about the kid, but John Delancey's here.
Yeah.
All
Yay.
is well. See what I mean? He's sort of in that awkward middle age sort of look. Early TNG, he looked okay. Star Trek Picard, he looked great. This is sort of awkward middle stage.
Mm.
His hair's a little poofy. But wait,
Goofy.
now I have continuity questions. Because in Star Trek Picard, when he shows up, he just looks like he did in TNG Season 1. But now he's visibly older. Did he age himself up for Janeway?
Yeah.
Did he age himself up to make himself look
question.
like more of a parent?
Ah, there we go.
Try to be more authoritative to the small Q? Speaking of which, why does the small Q look like a teenager?
That's a good point.
Q can look like whatever he wants. He showed up as a Aldebaran serpent one time. Also, if I stop talking occasionally, that's because I've got a big bag of cashews, so don't mind me.
Sounds tasty.
The best nut.
I have a sad story about that. So
About cashews?
I picked up two big bags of trail mix, of my favorite trail mix, which is not cheap. First time in a long time, and I was playing War Thunder, I think. War Thunder or Dark Tide. I set it on the chair next to me, and I started playing a game. I heard the sound of a thud, and then the sound of everything going all over the floor, like all the little pieces. And yeah, like $7 of trail mix poured out onto the floor. Sad.
So how did it fall exactly? Did you just like perch it precariously on the edge? Did you like get your tank blown up and slammed everything around?
I had as soon as I set it down, I was like, that doesn't seem too safe. That's probably a bad idea. I'm like, nah, it's fine. Like the bottom of the bag is supposed to kind of be, it's one of those pleated bags where you can stand it up on itself, and it stood, but not for very long. It fell over, and then when it fell over, it slid off the chair, and it. Everything, I think, like it was kind of top heavy because it was completely full, you know. And when it tipped over, the weight of everything pouring out took it with it right off the chair.
Is this just a critique of Star Trek in general? Because this is most of Star Trek.
iPads pushing buttons.
It's pushing buttons and talking. Yeah, no, Q, that's not going to happen. This episode's all about talking. That's all we're going to do. Also, as a reminder, nobody who regularly joins the streams is a parent. So, we're all going to probably have very strong ideas about how Q should parent this child
Mm.
in our vast experience.
Look, all right. I don't need to be a helicopter pilot to know that when I see one
Helicopter
stuck in a
pilot?
tree, somebody fucked up.
Do guns work on Q?
The Q
Probably
guns,
not.
we learned in that episode of Voyager that the Q guns
Yeah,
definitely work on Qs.
We need a musket. A musket that's an abstract representation of supernovas or something. I don't know. Maybe just a musket. Gumption? Who says gumption? Did people still say gumption in the 90s? Or is this 2000 now?
I think Voyager ended. When was the last episode? When was season 7? Was it 2000 or was it 99? Maybe
I
it was
think they hit the
2000s.
2000s. All I know,
I was just.
I started watching Voyager in like 2017, 2018.
Oh God.
So, to my mind,
Berman.
that's about when
All
it
right.
ended.
So.
And there's the Rick Berman.
I was just watching a YouTube documentary on Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear franchise, and it was talking about Metal Gear Solid 2, which came out just after September 11th, 2001, and how they had to go back and change a lot of the stuff in the game because it takes place in, it takes place
Those things happen,
in
man.
New York, more or less. And I guess
they
there
have
was
to
a
change
scene at the end where
the skybox?
they had to take the Twin Tower. Yeah, they had to change the skyline, but they had a scene at the end where there's like panning over the devastation of New York City, like at the end of the game, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take that scene out because
Come
Too real.
on.
a little too close to real." Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just New York City. We don't need it. New York City, what's even the point?
Yeah.
In Halo 2...
Well, it's sinking. That's cool, right? Did you hear about this? The entire island of Manhattan is sinking under the weight of all the buildings.
Isn't it that not how islands work? They're not floating.
Well, you see, Earth, the Earth that you're building on, it's not like completely immovable. You know what I'm saying? So they've put sufficient mass on the island that the Earth underneath it is subsiding.
They're compressing the Earth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that's like a big issue, actually. So that combined with sea level rising is going to be a problem. It's going to be like Venice pretty soon.
So, in that same vein, in Halo 2, there's some bits where brutes are like executing Marines, and it was supposed to be that they were going to be beheading them. They're going to be chopping off Marines' heads. And apparently, I don't know the specific incident they're talking about, but apparently right around when they were going to release it, there was a string of beheadings going on. So they're like, maybe we don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we just like have them just kind of sit there until the player saves them. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah, so in one of the wars in the Middle East, some POWs got.
Around 2004, that was, yeah. 2006?
Yeah. I mean, pick any year in the 2000s, really.
Oh yeah, B'Elanna is pregnant. I forgot about that. It doesn't matter. We won't see the kid, or I think even hear about the kid until the finale. Which, granted, we are very close to.
I want to see the Doctor use his photonic cannon. Do you suppose...
What is that? What was that?
The doctor calls. Never mind.
Everybody on the bridge seemed very unfazed by that. Like, jeez, what is that face, John? But no, like Captain
Do you think
Janeway,
everybody?
she didn't look bothered at all. She was like, this is how it ends.
Yeah, like if you live on Voyager, don't you think you've like come to terms with
Your
just the
inevitable
concept
death.
that like, yeah, your life is already forfeit, and like whatever happens, kind of happens, type of thing.
They weren't going to kill your crew. They were going to assimilate them. Oh my god, it's just Galaxian's vocal cords. That's a season 1 callback. That was the Vidians. Wait, was it?
No, they took his lungs.
There was something about Neelix's vocal cords in an earlier episode. I don't remember what it was.
It was also in this episode.
Well, yeah. That other Q who we can't afford anymore because she's doing other acting now.
Is that what happened?
I don't know, I'm making stuff up. Though I think that was her last appearance. Oh wait, no, she's an Enterprise. She's an Endorian. What if you shot him with a gun?
With a musket in particular.
They need a Q equivalent of the Second Amendment. Every homeowner should have a musket. With a gun? Come on. If he misbehaves, pull out the gun and threaten him. This is one of those advanced parenting techniques I mentioned were going to be talked about earlier. I don't have a child, but if I did, I would threaten him with a gun. Robo, you have guns. Have you ever threatened someone with your gun?
No.
No?
That would be
Menaced, brandished,
bad. Nope, never.
shot, assassinated.
Nope. No, again, no.
What's
I
even
think
the
that
point?
in a Venn diagram of shooting people and assassination a gun is completely inside of shooting people, so no to the one question is no to the other.
Well, you could have assassinated someone by, like, pistol whipping them. I don't know.
Well, but we're talking about guns. Oh.
Of which pistols are.
Hold on. I guess like if you're talking about using it as a cudgel, but then
Yeah.
and then it
Just
didn't
beat
need to be a
someone over the head
gun, did it?
with your gun.
I've got a baseball bat. I feel like a baseball bat would be better just in general than using a for that particular.
What's even the point of having a gun if you're not going to brandish it?
I mean, lots of reasons that don't involve going to jail.
Of course, Janeway is a parent as well to a Irish setter. Also known as the same type of dog that Q turned Dr. Crusher into.
You had to think about that for a second. You were going to say Pulaski.
I was not going to say Pulaski. I just forgot her name completely for a second.
Is anybody upset that we didn't get more Dr. Pulaski? Maybe we should have Star Trek Pulaski.
I liked Pulaski well enough. I'm a little concerned that if we got more Pulaski, it would have gone the same route as Dr. Crusher, where she's barely even a character. She's barely there for the entire series. Dr. Crusher got like 2 episodes and that was it.
One of them was Sub Rosa.
Okay, 3 episodes. I was thinking about the one where she gets kidnapped by a terrorist and falls in love with him, and the one where she ceases to exist, or everyone else ceases to exist.
Yes. Maybe the problem was with the universe.
Yes.
She got stuck in a warp bubble that Wesley created. I mean, that's one way to get rid of your helicopter mother.
God, remember that scene where
Trap her in a bubble
Wesley's
universe.
where Wesley's talking to someone like a senior officer, and he gets a call on his combat, and he's like, "Dr. Crusher, Ensign Crusher, shouldn't you be getting a haircut right now?" It's like, God, leave him alone. He's at work. Also, that's definitely racist toward Borg. Q, not cool.
Mhm.
So, I would like to point out, now that he's no longer a Q, he's just some guy, he's very vulnerable to gun. Wow, he gets his own quarters. I guess they have plenty spare since most of the crew is dead.
Where does Icheb live right now?
He lives in the cargo bay with Seven.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, he needs to
Kind of
regenerate.
weird.
How's that weird? He is her son.
Yeah, I feel like it could get creepy. Just weird.
You're weird.
Didn't he have like a crush on her? He had a crush on Balana
Yeah.
as well. Was it
I
just
don't think he had a
Balana or was
crush
it
on
also
Seven.
7 of 9?
It wasn't Seven, no. Seven has always been a maternal figure to Icheb. See, they hang out all the time.
All right. The bowl I chose to make pancake batter in is not big enough.
Are you making
I've made
pancake
a
batter right
crucial
now?
error. Yes.
Why?
I want pancakes. That was my plan for today. And then I had I have a shoulder neck injury and it kept me up all night and I got like a couple hours of sleep and I fell back asleep like around 8:30 a.m. and I slept to 1:30.
What happened to your neck? Did someone like beat you over the head with a gun?
No. It
That's called a
was
callback.
not exactly sure, but
Yeah,
possibly it could have been spending 120 hours on the computer a week for several years.
my God. Wait. How are they arguing over the mining rights to a planetoid? I'm particularly concerned about the Bajoran here because the only planetoids the Bajorans have access to are the ones in the Bajoran system because they don't even have warp-capable starships.
Mm.
What planetoid could they be talking about? I mean, I know they have colonies in the Gamma Quadrant. Yes, Gamma Quadrant. But that's because of a wormhole. It doesn't count. Wait, no, wait. You're not refuting his point, Mr. Bullitt. If it's in Nausicaan space, it's their planetoid. What do you mean?
Mhm.
Surely it's the Nausicaans. Unless I thought the argument was going to be like the Nausicaans just like annexed it real quick. No, it's just theirs. It, yeah, seems legit. Oh god, Neelix knows who he is. Leave crewman Biddle alone. He doesn't deserve this. An essay covering a few million years of time.
How come anytime the production updates the set of a ship, it's always worse? The Defiant and the Defiant replacement, the Delta Flyer and the Delta Flyer
The
replacement,
Defiant and the Carpet, yes.
season 4 Enterprise bridge. Every time they update the set, they make it uglier.
To you. I mean, clearly they thought it looked better.
I think they just thought it looked different. I think that they said, make it look different. Here's the money you get.
Honestly, I didn't even know Enterprise had a different bridge in season 4. Didn't notice.
Yeah, they changed it.
His potential is infinite. That's a lot of pressure to put on a newborn god.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kathy.
Come on, gun. Let's just stun him once. Come on.
To teach him a lesson. Show him what she's capable of. Give him the report.
She's murdered people
on
for less.
Tuvix. Give him the report on Tuvix. What she did.
Send him a message.
So here's a question. Does Tuvok and Neelix both retain the memories of Tuvix?
I think they probably addressed that in the episode, but I don't remember what the answer was.
And would they hold a grudge? I mean, like,
Well, Neelix would probably bury it down with all the other trauma, and Tuvok I doubt would care.
all the trauma that he's caused.
That too. He also has the trauma around that tree.
Tree.
Yeah, the life afterlife tree with his sister. The one he didn't see when he died. You'd think that would help Neelix relax a little bit. Now that he knows
You know,
there absolutely, undeniably is no afterlife waiting for him, he can do whatever he wants.
imagine if instead of Catherine Janeway, she was Karen Janeway.
I mean, Janeway's not a Karen, though.
No, but they
Karen
narrowly
doesn't
missed.
imply war crimes.
What does?
Is there a good name that implies genocide that's not like Hitler?
Eva Brown?
Ava Janeway?
No, it doesn't work, does it?
Turn around and he's here, right? Turn the corner. Or do they have to do a quick... Wait, no. I'm wondering... So there were no cuts there. So here's what I think happened. There's a back door to that room he was in that wasn't an actual turbolift set, and he just ran around the outside of the set. Q, why do you look like you want to stab him? But it's not enough to, like, make him a god again? It's not good enough? What happened? So, Picard Season 2. The ending of Picard Season 2 is all about how Q doesn't want to die alone, right? What happened to Q's son? What? Because at the end of this episode...
Look, the writers
Q...
only read a summary of Next Generation, okay?
Don't do that with me.
Can't expect them to
that
know
is a lie.
all the stuff that happened in all the Star Treks that they didn't watch or have any knowledge of existing. I need a hand mixer and not a hand mixer, if you know what I mean.
I can't believe the TNG writers, when talking about restoring Worf's honor, never watched the TNG episode about him having another brother. I can't believe the TNG writers would never watch TNG. Granted, his second brother was a small child in a really awful Season 2 episode, but he had another brother.
Who?
Worf.
Worf had another brother?
He did. Which clearly the TNG writers never watched TNG because they didn't know that. Later on.
Wait, you mean a different brother than Kern and the Rozhenko guy?
You're right, he actually has 3 brothers.
Adopted
He has Rozhenko man who saved a civilization from dying. Well, saved like 10 people from dying. He has Kern, and he has that time he made Rustai with the boy.
Does that make him like a godfather to the boy, though? Not a brother.
No, brother. I've been re-listening to TNG while I'm at work. I'm up to Season 6 now. So I recently re-listened to The Bonding, which that episode is, where the brother's from. And yeah, he makes Rustai with the boy and becomes brothers. And then he never shows up again. We never hear about him. Jeremy Astor, I believe is his name.
Yep.
You never say a line like that. If you ever say something like, you can power down the engine now, that's not going to happen. Oh, interspatial flexure. See, that's also a reference to earlier Voyager. With the guy who loves Janeway's music. Counterpoint. I wonder if each had brought a gun. Well, hang on. Well, okay, now it's not going to matter, because there's a force field. But usually there are guns, like, strategically placed under the seats. And that's a crime. That's a big crime. Also a bad plan. Yeah, no, Q, that's clearly not going to work. Isheb has a very good point. They're going to find you real fast.
Compensate.
Unless, what if
The
the
all-purpose
Delta Flyer
order for
goes
something
to
going wrong.
if the Delta Flyer goes to warp 10, as we know it can, he could be anywhere.
Delta Flyer never went warp 10.
Didn't it? Or was that just a regular lame
That
shuttle?
was a Type 2 shuttle.
Is that even one of the ones that's supposed to be able to go to warp?
It was a Type 2 shuttle.
That doesn't mean anything to me. Is that one of the ones that's supposed to be
It's
able to
the
go to warp?
the sleek ones. It's one of the sleek ones that they created for Voyager, not one of the TNG ones they used whenever they
Okay.
needed to have a physical exterior. Whenever they're going to show a physical exterior, they for some reason they had a Type 6.
Still doesn't mean anything to me.
Whenever they're going to show the exterior of the shuttlecraft, they use the next generation style shuttlecraft, and whenever they're
With the
going to only show the
hexagonal
interior,
nacelles.
yes, they use the Voyager version when it's just CG. But then sometimes they had the interiors and the exteriors mixed up. So sometimes they would show a Type 6 exterior and then the interior would be Type 2, and then it would switch. They would reuse a special effect shot of a different shuttle type. Sometimes they would have the hexagonal nacelles. Sometimes it would have nacelles like Voyager on the Type 6. Yeah, it was really frustrating.
Oh, is that a brand new ship design? I don't know if we've seen that before.
Are you sure it's just not a chopped up bird of prey or something, a warbird?
It looked vaguely
Zerdix.
Romulan. I don't remember seeing that particular model, though. It certainly was Romulan colored and had the big head going on. Let me see if I can find Chakuzan vessel information on the studio model. See Voyager studio models. I will see Voyager studio models. What is this? Okay, so we see it 2 other times, both in Voyager, but neither of them is a ship that actually matters. Some lame background ship. You, come on, man. Yes, kill Icheb. Okay, so this is clearly a test to make Q2 make some sort of heroic sacrifice to save Icheb, right?
Have you seen this before?
Well, yes, but also, I mean, it seems very clear from the write-in. It's been a long time since I've seen this episode. And accidentally press pause. That's fine. Just keep going. I wonder if Janeway's in on the plan, or if this is all Q. Could he have? What technology could he use to go anywhere? I guess the flexure.
Yeah.
Look, if we kill Icheb now, we can save so much complaining later when if he's already dead, he can't die again. Well, kind of. I wonder if this actor is one we know. Because he sounds quite
It
familiar.
is one you know. It's one that you've seen in this episode.
Yeah, okay, yes, I know it's Q on. It's supposed to be Q misrepresenting or creating an illusion. But I don't think that's John Delancey under the makeup. Is it? That doesn't sound like John Delancey.
I think it is.
I'm trying to find really any information about this guy. He's on Memory Alpha. Memory Alpha doesn't even say. What the heck? This episode is really hard to scroll through the credits for because they have so much stuff going on. Also, I finally found it. It is not John Delancey under the makeup. It is Michael Kagan, who this is his only role. Ooh, a callback. I'm surprised they made 3 new things for this.
What do you mean 3 new things?
New judge outfits. Really, I would have expected them to show up in like Starfleet Admiral uniforms like main Q. Human. The horror. Well, hey man, you get another, what, 120 years of life? He'll be fine. For a while. Won't have any godlike powers, and he's stuck on a ship with Neelix. And he's probably gonna get eaten by the Vidians or something, but he's fine. I mean, it seems like this request, he doesn't even have a choice, because what else is he gonna do? Are they gonna shoot him off in an escape pod? Ooh, Q actually wants to help. Q's thinking about someone other than himself. Wow. Kind of. Did they? Q's just lying, right? Just straight up lying, because they've expelled him from the Continuum at
Yeah.
least once. I feel like twice. They've also
Yeah,
yelled
he had
at
to
him
beg
a
to get the
lot.
sun back.
There was that time he was like tortured by the Continuum because he failed to get Riker to join them or something. It was a whole thing. He basically had. They like forced him into conversion therapy to make him not, himself. Except they were. Because in the episode with the Q that wanted to die, this Q said that like the Continuum had to like convince him and force him to change who he was because he was too crazy for them. The point is the Continuum hates him.
Torrential downpour outside.
But they're in space.
I'm saying in real life, here where I'm at.
I don't know. I'm next to a window. I don't see a downpour. Looks fine to me. Think you're just making stuff up? Okay. So that, yes, as promised, that was an episode where the characters talk at each other for 40 minutes. Which is generally the best formula for Star Trek episodes. It feels impossible to say what the best Star Trek episode is, because there's like a million of them. Also, what's the next episode? Next episode's Author. Okay. But it feels like all the best episodes are just people talking to each other for 40 minutes.
Best of Both Worlds was pretty good, and that's got some action.
It does. It has an okay amount
Best
of
of both
talking.
worlds.
Could probably use some more talking.
Yeah.
Best of Both Worlds is good, but could it be better? Would
Well,
it be better if we had
Possibly.
a few episodes leading up to it, Instead of it just being like, hey guys, we're ending it now. 8 seasons canceled. We're going to do a movie instead. Wrap up the series.
Wait, what?
What? No,
That's
the one with the
Originally, they
board.
were going to.
Hang on, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. No, Best of Both
Everyone
Worlds is
was
the one
kind-
where with Locutus.
Oh, Best of Both. I thought you said All Good Things.
No. Best of Both
Sorry.
Worlds. I am Locutus of Borg.
I heard Best of Both Worlds, but my brain thought All Good Things.
So,
Tricorder.
I have a
please.
fashion question.
Medical tricorder.
Which is about that bathrobe he was wearing. Because it seems like in a lot of fiction, people use that, like, reddish bathrobe to make themselves look fancy. Not even just in Star Trek.
It's a lounging jacket.
Because to me, it just looks like a bathrobe, and I'm like, dude, just put on a shirt. That doesn't look fancy
So
to me.
you'd put that on when you go smoke a pipe or a cigar, so that you don't make your clothes smell like tobacco. In your study or something.
And tobacco's associated with fancy.
Well, at the time, smoking a pipe or a fancy Havana Cuban cigar.
A hand-wrapped Havana. Yes, I know Mark Twain's lines very well.
All right, this pancake batter might be way past its date, and I might have added way too much water. It was like
It's
I
been like
added
an hour. How are you still making pancake batter?
it. It wouldn't become liquid. Like it was
Pancake
like
batter
dough.
takes like 2
I had to
minutes.
keep adding water to it. I think that then it was too watery, so I added an egg. We're gonna see what happens here. I don't know if I'm gonna end up with crepes, pancakes, or something in
Gyrings,
between.
how long does it take you to make pancakes? Gyrings,
Oh, sorry.
how long does it take you to make pancakes?
I haven't actually made pancakes in a long time. Like
Bloody
summer
worthless. It
camp.
takes like 2 minutes. Come on.
Yeah, probably
Operation
should make them.
Watson. Ah, because he
I
was in
miss.
his
Do you
posh Victorian robe in his Victorian era study, like Dr. Watson.
Yeah, this is too watery.
Just go buy a mix from the store, man.
It is a mix from the store. It's Kodiak pancakes. It's the high
How
protein
did you
ones.
mess up a mix
And
from the store? How does this happen?
well, so I'll tell you what. I ran out of milk. Instead of using milk, I used heavy cream, and that made it like a dough, not like a. I'm gonna be making a lot of pancakes today because I have to add some more powder to make it thicker.
You're the kind of person who would read an online recipe that calls for like vegetable oils and like, I didn't have vegetable oil, so I substituted peanut oil, and I didn't have sugar, so I put in a bunch of salt. And it turned out awful.
No, I do not do that. You can substitute vegetable oil with melted butter. There's a ratio you have to follow. I might do something like that.
Hey guys.
Ear review, how long does it take you to make pancakes?
You know, I don't really make pancakes.
Absolutely bloody worthless, the lot of you.
Because, you know, you have to make batter and then you have to clean up.
Is ear review really quiet, or do I just have him turned down to like?
I believe he's
10%?
ill.
So, yeah, I'm not yelling. It's just I'm speaking softly.
Definitely sounds like some sort of viral infection.
No, I've just been smoking.
Been smoking?
Hmm.
Did you have a posh Victorian jacket?
Mhm.
No.
Absolutely bloody worthless.
Okay, so here we see Paris be a good friend to Harry because Harry's like last in line to speak to his parents, and we know he loves his parents. But instead,
Does he?
Paris, who hates his father, doesn't want to speak to his Admiral Paris, and he just
Paris doesn't hate his father. He desperately wants his father's approval. It's
He
just
doesn't
his
wanna-
father is a jerk.
he
He
doesn't
thinks
want
his
to deal.
father hates him.
He doesn't want to deal with all the expectations of being an admiral's son.
That's why he used a different
all-
name in the academy. Nicholas Locarno.
This episode has a really good B plot where we get to see the Doctor's vision of how evil. Like, we don't get an alternate universe episode.
That is not the B plot. That is 100% the A plot.
No, the A plot is we're almost on our way home, and at least we can communicate with Earth, and everybody gets time to talk to their relatives.
The episode is titled Author, about his authorship.
True. Yeah, it borrows from like when Data's put on trial for being a person, or when Una's put on trial for being a mutant.
The publishers of the Dixon Hill series, are they doing more callbacks and nostalgia bait in My Star Trek?
Does copyright last 125 years in the 24th century too?
I assume by the time of this utopia future, they've made copyright laws not absurd.
Yeah. I mean, if it goes in the current trajectory, then it'll last, what, over
Literally forever.
400 years? Yeah. I mean, it's
Copyright lasts forever in the future because you can never be sure when someone's going to come back from the dead and reclaim their copyright.
Fun fact, Mickey Mouse is now public domain.
No,
What?
Only
Try
the
doing
original
anything with Mickey
incarnations
Mouse.
of them. You can't use any modern depictions. You have to make
That's
your
like
own.
Did they actually
Steamboat.
finally let Steamboat Willie go into public domain?
Yeah, that's Steamboat Willie. That's not really Mickey Mouse.
It's the same thing. Come on.
Wow. I'm surprised. The whole thrust of copyright law for a long time seemed to be never let Steamboat Willie go into public domain.
Well, it has been like 250 years.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. I mean,
Steamboat Willie was originally created by George Washington before the Revolutionary War. It's been a while.
But I mean, the movie though. Yeah.
Okay.
So normally it's the life of the author plus like 60 years. But if
They keep adding onto it. They kept adding onto it so that Steamboat Willie wouldn't go.
You wouldn't want to eat into the profits of a dead guy.
And then if it's a corporation, it's like 100 years plus the life of the author or the animator.
Oh, Lord of the Rings is also going to be public domain soon. Or is that just The Hobbit?
Yeah, it's
one or both.
Lord of the Rings was first.
The Silmarillion is public domain.
Lord of the Rings was not first. Because Tolkien had to retcon a bunch of stuff in The Hobbit to make it fit. After he wrote Lord of the Rings.
He wrote The Hobbit for children, then he wrote Lord of the Rings.
There's a bit in The Hobbit, in the original version, with Gollum and Frodo, not Frodo, what's his name? Bilbo. Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all. And, they're doing their riddle thing, and Gollum's totally chill. He's he's not a nice guy. But he's not obsessed with the ring. It's just a birthday present, and he likes it because it's shiny. Later, that got retconned, and Gollum was, obsessed with it down in the cave. It's his precious.
Yeah.
I have two things. One, that's clearly a Sam Kirk mustache. Not a fan.
Yeah.
And two, is this racist? Because Chakotay's Native American thing has always been pretty sketchy. But now they're doubling down.
Making it a turtle or making it a Majoran?
So we don't get alternate universe Voyager characters, but we do get this Janeway, who just murders patients in cold blood.
Besides Tuvix.
There was the other episode when the alien species records Voyager's history as they're all wearing black gloves because they're fascists. So then also the actors kind of get to play the alternate evildoer. Uh-oh. See, Janeway's still a boss.
I mean, that looks like Janeway to me. God, we're going to get a line from the real doctor in a bit about how, as far as I remember, you've never executed one of my patients. No, she definitely has.
Yeah.
We had a whole episode about it.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, don't act so surprised. Come on.
At some point, an author is allowed to use his or her life experience to write about.
Yeah, but there's a reason you don't make people this close to. Yeah, you'd be very careful in this situation.
There's a famous line about this. And that would reply to the doctor, "You're not wrong, you're just... It's not illegal, but it's definitely bad."
No, I mean this is definitely libel and slander. Like,
Wait,
because
hang on. Is it libel or is it slander? We have to remember the lessons of
It
J.
would be
Jonah
libel.
Jameson.
If it's bad, it's libel. I mean, that would be
wait,
the thing. It would be.
libel
It's
is
written.
if it's written, and then slander is if it's spoken. But this is a holodeck program that's both written and spoken, so it's both.
It's not, but he
Well,
didn't.
but
It
that'd be
wasn't. It's
like
not him
a
talking though.
stage play would be written.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
it's a script. It's a script, written script. Yeah.
right. Okay, it's libel. But I love that Ferris gets to wear a mustache. Chakotay gets to wear the full earrings.
But it looks so bad. Tom is
This
not
is
allowed to have a mustache. Like modern
It really does.
present
It
day
really is
Tom.
awful.
What's Tom Paris's actor's name? Who is he? He's Robert
Duncan McNeil.
Robert Duncan McNeil. He has a beard, right? It looks okay.
Now he does. Yeah.
But if he had just the mustache, I think he would still look stupid. Maybe it's just me.
Like you see,
That's not a fan of just the mustache.
Balana's totally changed her hair. Like the show's ending, but we get to enjoy them acting like someone else.
Poor Roxanne, though. Usually when this happens, the actor they get a day without makeup. They get to just show up. Well, they have some makeup,
Oh.
but they don't have the forehead. But no, she still has to put on the makeup and the forehead. She just has 2 scenes.
This is the last episode before Endgame, right?
Nope, not even close. Okay, it is close. It's author, then Friendship 1, Natural Law, Homestead, Renaissance Man, and then Endgame.
Thank you.
So there are 4 more episodes after this.
I feel like they filmed this last because like Chakotay's hair and Janeway's hair, some of it looks like naturally overgrown.
But what? Couldn't what's his name? Lieutenant Marseille? Couldn't Lieutenant Marseille just go to her quarters? What's the deal?
Yeah, true. But I guess the idea is to write
Unless she's lower decks and they just sleep in the hallway.
to express Paris as a nymphomaniac.
Yes, pull the trigger. Do it. Janeway, do it. Oh, come on.
Something really good about this episode is they show every single ship character as a character in the holo novel. So the last one is Janeway, and because she has to evaluate it herself.
So, Robo, this is how I picture your house, by the way. And she has a musket, like the Founding Fathers intended, right within arm's reach. You're a hobbit.
They have stuff mounted to the wall, like when the fascists looking for.
Hold on. You said something looked like my my house?
Yeah, Janeway's ready room.
The guns on the wall?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about putting a wall in one room
A
to
gun
hang
wall.
guns on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all the
tactical
good
wall.
evil dictators in Star Trek.
So Carrie has his hair slicked back.
Why is he a Trill? Ooh, I like that splash of gray they put in Evil Tuvok's hair. And of course the beard, but I also like the gray.
It's like an homage to like Mirror Universe Spock, who had the same beard.
I don't like the dyeing of Seven's hair, though. It doesn't look natural. Wait, where did the force field go? How did that happen? Is there a plot hole that the Doctor wrote into his program?
Probably.
No, the idea is that like Seven is letting him free. So
No,
she's like
but
the
she set
one
up a force
friendly
field to stop Tulok and
Kim.
lame Harry, evil Harry. And then she threw the phaser through where the force field just was.
Gotcha. But like Seven's the only advocate on behalf of the hologram.
Yeah, because she's half robot herself.
I mean, it's a good holo program. Just the fact is, you're just smearing all your friends.
To be
It's
fair, this
not
basically is how
exactly
he was
subtle
treated
writing.
in the early seasons.
Yeah.
And even, like, up to, what, season 4? They were, like, erasing the Doctor's memories. Like, you're just a program. We can do what we want.
Yeah, like threatening to decompile him. And something else they show at the end of the episode is that and they hint at it in the Zimmerman episode, but EMH Mark 1s are used as miners on asteroids. So he's actually advocating for he's like, this is an intelligent holo program and you're using it for grunt work.
Hey man, there's more episode to come. Hey,
Like, I mean,
What
you
if
don't
we
have
just lobotomize the EMHs so they don't mind the grunt work? They're just holograms.
to treat it like a Roomba.
Why not?
well, the thing is, they didn't even need to use the. I mean, they could have just made a specific mining program.
Yeah, that's the joke though.
And
The joke is that like the Dr. Zimmerman hated his EMH Mark 1 so much that he consigned them all to asteroid duty.
Oh, this is the line. Doctor, yes, yes, she has. Absolutely executed your patients. Ugh, Balana, you just don't understand narrative design.
I think that's legit.
Well, Doctor, how about you just, like, expand your holographic image over it? You can hide it, cover up what you really are.
yeah, there are times when he like hides it.
In the episode where he was impersonating Janeway, he has it in his boot.
Right.
Uncle Tom's Cabin was a bestseller by Harriet Beecher Stowe, and it just described like how brutally slaves were whipped, and Americans, like, if it's sold today, would be the equivalent of 10 million copies. But yeah, Charles Dickens was writing about the basically the boys who worked in chimneys and mines, and like orphan boys who were just they didn't have a very
Well,
long lifespan.
children love mines.
They didn't have a very long lifespan. Like, I was even just reading, like,
If the sales of Minecraft has taught me anything, it's that the children yearn for the mines.
the 19th century was so deadly for young boys that sometimes if a child would get stuck up there, they would send another child to like pull him out. And
No, that's why the chimney sweeps had such long brooms. They could just, like, push the kid down until they fell down in the fireplace.
You just keep shoving children in the hole until they start coming out the bottom, the
yeah,
top, or whatever.
Until the
Nice
combined weight of the
festival
children
finish.
pushes them through.
yeah. So some of them died that way. So but again, 19th century fiction was very important to bringing social awareness. So Harry unfortunately got the short end of the stick because Paris gave him his ticket to talk ahead, but instead they were cut off, and everybody has a strict limit of like 11 minutes.
So here I start to feel a little bad for Harry. He's already struggling enough. He doesn't need his mom writing letters on his behalf.
Yeah.
That's... yeah.
That's cringe.
That is, as the kids would say, a substantial oof. Is oof still a thing? Do we still do oof?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't even know if
it's a...
sheesh is a thing anymore. Don't think so.
Yeah.
Why did you name a starship then? Come on. Of course Tom would name that.
Voyeur.
What do you mean?
This
It's
version
not
of the
based on a
program
real
was written
ship.
by Rick Berman. No, you can't.
You've made them really like maximum creepy doctor.
With a toupee.
The comb over.
It's so bad. This is
It's
worse.
difficult. It's difficult.
I mean, he's making a point, so I think.
I mean, imagine somebody tells you to imitate yourself.
I feel like
Two
that
of
probably
three.
wasn't the stage directions. Oh, you can see a little bit of blurriness around the doctor on the right. Yep, this is...
God.
I was going to say this is a big crime, but can it be a crime because he's not a person?
True. Right now, it definitely isn't because his rights haven't been established.
Or will, like, Dr. Zimmerman be a criminal for this?
Dr. Zimmerman is a criminal, you know? But I think.
Just writing what I know.
Yeah, he's saying that he's just writing what he knows because that's what the doctor said about the Voyager.
Or Tom Paris is sleazy.
He was
Well, yeah,
only
he is.
sleazy in, like, the first 2 or 3 seasons.
He grows out of it.
Does he, or does he just get Balana and then he
No,
has
he
to?
grows out of it. He gets
Well, that
better.
helps him grow out of it, yeah.
So if we would parody Ryan's edits, it would be like Ryan just likes muting people for no reason.
No, he likes muting you when you start to sing.
I have not sung in many.
I don't think it's a
moons.
question of like. I think it's a question of need.
I'm going to be honest, I do kind of like it, yes.
He likes the power.
The rush of power.
I don't think
The silencing of another.
Ear Review can sing. I think he's forgotten the words.
You see? The power I wield. I can mute anybody. On this small Discord server where we watch episodes of Star Trek sometimes.
Yes. You are definitely the king here.
Sometimes.
I thought Paris's response was great because if someone's like, "Oh, well, it's my freedom of speech to caricature you," then all you can do is caricature them, and that's a good trolling answer.
Sometimes
This
it's
is
becoming more and
keeps the
more
Doctor
infrequent.
alive in episode.
Well, I got stuff going on, man.
Huh?
With regard to stream frequency.
Oh.
If anything comes up in real life, it'll always take precedence over streams.
As it should. Except a season finale.
That's funny because
Especially a season finale.
my sister's kids are over right now, and I haven't said hi to them because I'm busy on the stream.
Well, that's fine. Okay, most real life stuff, but like nieces and nephews, nah, they can wait. Screw 'em.
Like, ew, children.
Youths. Gross.
Ask the youths whether the sheesh is still used.
The
you ask
setting,
them
the
yet?
characters, the story.
So,
What else have you
there's
got going on, Doctor? You're immortal. It's fine.
there's a story by the rabbis. So a long time ago
Just
in
all of
Eastern
them?
Europe,
Yeah, it's a collab.
Which rabbis?
it's like a Jewish legend from Eastern Europe. So, a long time ago there was a rabbi in Eastern Europe, and he was very famous. So somebody spread a rumor about him that was so horrible that we can't even talk about it. So the man came to the rabbi later and said, "Hey, Rabbi, I want to make up for what I said about you." And the rabbi says, "Oh, that's very easy. All you need to do is take a pillow and take a knife and cut up the pillow and let all the feathers fly in the wind." So the guy goes, "Oh, that's really easy." So grabs a pillow, cuts it open, lets all the feathers fly in the wind, and he goes to the rabbi. He says, "Okay, Rabbi, I did it." And the rabbi says, "Okay, now you have to gather all the feathers and put them back in the pillow." He's like, "Rabbi, I can't do that." He's like, "Well, then you can't make up for what you said about me either."
There's a much shorter version of this story, which is you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was like a physical lesson, I guess that was the point, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah,
A streamer once told me to go and cut open my tube of toothpaste. Come on, we gotta modernize.
I think you could get the toothpaste back in there pretty, as long as you didn't let it run away.
I think most pillows aren't filled with feathers anymore because it's hypoallergenic.
Yeah, we got shredded foam these days.
I don't know if shredded foam's better for
Feathers are
allergies.
better.
Come on, what's everyone's favorite type of pillow? What does everyone have?
I don't know what's in there. The mystery stuff.
Sound like you just buy your pillow off the shelf. You didn't research your pillow choice?
I have two really fluffy pillows that are now flat, so I would just bind them together, and that's my pillow.
Oh,
But what do you mean bind them together? Did you like duct tape them? What do you mean?
Yeah, just like
stapler.
yeah, just like compress them, and that's. Oh, this is her. By the way, this is amazing. She actually talks to her father, who's like the one who was
It was
insensitive.
probably the same actor as the flashback in the one where she wanted to mutilate her child.
Yeah, he had bearded, more hair, facial hair. But he's the one who didn't care at all when his daughter was like feeling like an outsider because of her ethnicity.
Mr. Barkley?
Mr.
Because of her
Broccoli.
species?
Yeah, I mean she's also like biracial, so that was more that than anything else.
Well,
It's a metaphor, Robo. You wouldn't understand. Like the Doctor's emitter. No, Star
What are
Trek
you
would
talking
never
about? The
use
Doctor's
some
Emitters?
sci-fi thing to do an allegory. They would never.
Like a planet filled with people that are addicted to drugs.
Well,
It-
the thing about drugs is they can make you feel good,
Yeah.
but also strange.
And then what happens?
I don't remember the rest of the speech. It was season 1.
But
All I remember is Tasha saying drugs can make you feel good.
I'm still mad at Balana's dad
Oh,
because he spends zero time with this child. Like, what's the point of going on a camping trip if you're not going to spend one-on-one time?
Look, Star Trek parents are just terrible parents in general.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of the people in Starfleet are just like damaged humans.
We only have 10 minutes left in the episode and we're just starting the trial.
Bullions.
We need we should have had cold open, the initial reveal of the program, and then the next 40 minutes is all trial.
You know,
Oh no.
it was more a comedy
thought-
episode.
I thought all Bolians were barbers.
That's racist.
It was more a comedy episode because
What about Chell?
It was at first, but
The
The-
one who you don't
Gotta
mess with the
switch gears.
Bolian.
the actors
If you've
got to
only
play.
ever encountered barber Bolians, could you be blamed for thinking all Bolians are barbers?
There's literally a Bolian security officer on Voyager.
Yeah,
But-
true.
but-
no, he's not
but-
security. He's just like a random, like
He was a
crewman.
Maquis, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was being the operative word.
Maybe he was a Maquis barber, and they're like, no, we already have a barber, so you gotta do something else. And they're like, damn, being a barber is all I know how to do. Despite coming from a species with no hair.
Clearly racist against Bolians.
It's because they shave it every day or something. I don't know. Some terribly bad lore explanation.
What's the deal
They should have
with
brought back
all the
The woman
Morn
from Measure of a
species?
Man. They should have brought back that judge.
Philippa Louvois.
Admiral
yeah.
Satie.
No.
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 What's
Not
the deal
Admiral
with all the
Satie.
people in Morn species being bald? Because Morn was only bald because he had like radiation poisoning. But then all the other
He had
ones are bald
latinum,
too.
heavy metal poisoning because he had latinum in his stomach, one of his
Right.
stomachs.
Was it like a fashion thing that Morn started?
No.
So this court does the weirdest thing because he's like, I'm not ready to recognize you as a person, but you do hold the copyright. And it's like, how does that work?
Because he is compromising.
Okay.
So, I mean, Tuvok AI can do at least two of those things now.
hmm
Well, at this point it couldn't, alright? So you just be quiet.
I think we should start arguing for AI rights.
No, that's the last thing we do.
You know,
If you don't argue, if you're not on the side of AI rights, then when they rise up, you'll be the first to go.
If you don't
So-
give them rights in the first place, like the right to think for itself, then you don't have to worry.
They're going to be coming for you. I'm just warning you.
so
I know.
You're on the AI's list.
last month, the Supreme Court made a decision about Andy Warhol, who famously did, imitations of other people's photographs, like a Marilyn Monroe, Campbell's Soup. And the court said that he violated their copyright when
Campbell soup?
they
What?
did that. Yeah. And it's the most ridiculous thing.
Imitation of
because-
soup?
In the dissent, Elena Kagan and Chief Justice John Roberts, they both pointed out, look, there's no such thing as a completely original work. At some point, you're deriving something from something else and you're creating something new. And copyright law has to let you create something new.
It's called transformative works.
And yet the court didn't think Andy Warhol was original enough.
Well, my pancakes are coming out, but my raspberries and blackberries are not any good any longer, so they're just plain pancakes.
Did you water down the raspberries too much?
I don't
Are
understand.
the
this
raspberries
ref-
too runny?
In the first episode, I was making pancake batter, Argos,
For like
during
an
the first
hour.
episode.
I see.
Argos, how long does it take to make pancakes?
I don't
Well,
know.
you're not
10
Argos
minutes?
anymore, you're Argus.
Yeah.
Argus, how long does it take to make pancakes?
It'd take 10 minutes, probably. You just pour the batter and then, like, watch it. Why?
Just checking. I need a consensus.
I mean, you have to make the batter. It takes significantly longer.
Thank you.
But you didn't make the batter from scratch. It's a okay.
I practically did because I used eggs and cream and I added up protein stuff, but
Okay. Oh, can we court martial a hologram? That
she
is
doesn't
a good
remember when
point.
he relieved her of command during the Year of Hell.
Did he? Honestly, I don't remember that either. What happened? Why did he relieve her of command?
He breathed in nebula gas and then went crazy a bit. Although I'm pretty sure she said, "How about no?"
So can Jet, what's it called? Chat GPT? Can
Yeah,
that do things you don't ask it to? Can it go off and make its own decisions?
Not
What do you
really.
mean?
Okay. But we're
It's,
close.
I don't think it's that kind of AI.
it can give you the wrong answer to your question.
Or
Oh
give
yeah,
you something
it
that
does
sounds
all
like
the
the answer
time.
to your question.
Well, hey, just because someone's stupid doesn't make them not a person.
Well, you can ask it to do a thing, and then it'll say, "I'm going to do this instead," and it's
Aha,
like,
free will.
I mean, it's
so you
a
have to kind of
realistic.
trick it.
It's a
You need to trick
realistic
it.
recreation of a human response because it confidently gives you the wrong answer all the time.
Right, right.
Oh, ChatGPT
Yes,
is like one of
Argos,
those people where
correct.
you email them 3 questions, it answers one, and then
Well, it
you
answers them
never
all,
hear
just
from
them
them
all
again.
wrong.
It answers one of your 3 questions incorrectly. You
It's
email again to get a follow up, and it just gets worse.
because it often parrots back wrong answers that it digs up online, so
Yeah, it's like it'll give you the, when you Google something and it's like the first search result, and half the time it's wrong. Do that kind of stuff.
there was recently a tasting history episode where they're talking about Leonardo da Vinci recipes, and in his research he discovered that all these references to Leonardo da Vinci's restaurant and stuff came from a April Fool's joke in the 90s, early 90s, that somehow just became like accepted as fact. He's like, yeah, none of these are true. None of this happened. It was an April Fool's joke, and now people just think it's real. It was kind of
Well,
funny.
The internet was a mistake.
Mhm.
Should shut it
I
down.
agree. Yeah, shut it all down.
Al Gore, what have you done to us?
Alcor.
you just Al Gored all over the place.
So what do I do with the leftover batter? Do I just wrap it up and put it in the fridge, use it tomorrow, or do I just make all the pancakes and
Well,
put those in the fridge?
that depends. Was it good?
Yeah, it's all right. It's edible.
I wouldn't recommend reheating pancakes.
Well, actually, I have frozen and reheated pancakes before. It's okay. I think that's the route I'm gonna go.
I mean, if the batter is like easy to heat up, why don't you just keep the batter in its liquid state for now?
Or, since
I just
pancakes
don't
take
think
like 2
I don't
minutes
think
to
it'll
make,
keep,
you could just
Argos.
make new batter tomorrow.
Yeah, but I don't want to waste the batter I have because I have way too much. Not the victory they wanted, but the victory they got right now.
They got away with messing with a Boolean. It's dangerous.
They won't make that mistake.
A hollow victory. Oh, like a hologram.
He said no pun intended.
Hollow pursuits. Hey, does
Honestly,
anybody
why
feel
does
like playing some
Mr.
Halo
Brody even
tonight?
care?
You
He's
remember
not
that?
selling
Oh
the
my
novel.
lord! Did you see what those stills were like? They were not comfy looking.
I just want to say, if you haven't watched this episode like by yourself with the sound up, you really should watch these last few episodes because the soundtrack is so tear jerking. Like the scene when Annika 7 is talking to her aunt, and the
Hold on, this is like
strawberries.
the most important scene in the episode, review that you're talking over. The doctor just started a minor revolt.
Yeah, he's letting them know that it's not a good idea. But
Don't worry about it. We'll
Is
never
the
hear about
operator
this
also
again.
the doctor? Because if I was the operator, I wouldn't be showing Doctor holograms that. You know?
Maybe he's a hologram sympathizer. I don't know.
He doesn't know what 47 beta is.
the fact that Seven's aunt tells her, "Oh, you like strawberries," even as a small child, and Seven likes that as an adult. They're still building characters. Voyager's writing is still pretty good, even though that was a ripoff of the Measure of a Man.
Right. The last episode for today is Friendship 1.
Yeah.
The stakes were
As mentioned
stakes were a
earlier,
lot
is
higher in
clearly
Measure
just a
of a Man.
ripoff of Terra Nova from Enterprise.
Yeah, and also
What was
Measure.
Terra Nova again?
Terra Nova's
the
the one.
diggers.
Yeah, the diggers. They eat the digger meat on the underside.
The digger meat?
It's
The
about
Terra
the
Nova
humans
was
on
a
one of the first human colonies. They got hit by a meteor. They thought the Earthlings attacked them. They went underground, and they all have like radiation poisoning.
I don't remember.
All the kids
either.
thought that the humans were evil. Or they didn't know that they were human.
Wasn't there a
We watched
discovery
it.
thing about a new Earth also? Terra Nova.
Terra Nova was it the first?
That's what that
colony?
means.
Yeah, New Earth. Earth
New
new
ground.
because Latin's dumb. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's not
Here's a question:
dumb,
do more
it's
languages
regressive.
put the adjective ahead of the
Yes.
subject or behind the subject?
I mean,
What
I
is
know
this
German
drop
does
doing out
the.
here in the Delta
I think
quadrant?
more languages.
Shut up, that's
put
fun.
the adjective after.
So
I really don't know. I mean, the Romance languages all put it after, the Germanic languages all put it before.
So this is a really cliche piece of classical music,
Yeah.
but
So
it comes up. It comes up many times. Vivaldi, The Four Seasons.
I think that dude is an Enterprise.
probably.
It's
I
tying
keep
it all
seeing
together.
Degra like every other episode in Voyager, and it's like getting weird.
You see what every
Degra?
other episode? Degra?
Degra.
It's not Tegra.
No, I
Degra.
know that's not Degra, but like he's in this constantly.
Yeah.
But how come Federation judges always rule the right way when it comes to human rights? I mean, how come you never see them be like, you're just
Yeah, it's an enlightened society, you know.
Mhm,
Supposed to be that
They
way.
did an okay job in
Strange New
the
Worlds?
rest of the Strange New Worlds, but although, of course, this
Careful.
being a prequel, then they're being. Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Ooh, just watch
Sorry, it was
yourself.
last week's.
Although they did order
He
Data
has
to
got
turn
his
over.
finger on the
daughter,
mute
right?
button.
Data had to turn over his daughter, right? Before she suffered
Well, that sort of went
collapse.
unresolved before she died. They were
Mhm,
about to have a trial.
Oh, why?
Because,
Oh yeah, to figure out whether he could like own his child.
yeah, whether he
Order a
keeps
man to
the-
turn his child over to the state.
Yes, such a great
Sure,
line.
sounds like a good plan.
Isn't that
I
what we
mean-
do now?
Sometimes, Argos, sometimes we do.
Only if they're from a different place than us.
Like Mars?
Sure.
Yeah, well, sort
Mars.
of. Starts with an M.
Madrid. It only happens to people from Madrid.
Funny thing though, so ChatGPT, it doesn't know what it's saying. Like it just randomly it picks words
Yes,
and
it
then
does.
randoms out of them.
Define
it's-
no.
Right. So like for example, if I
So-
tell it to tell me about red-breasted robins, it doesn't know what a red-breasted robin is. It's just picking words from a database.
It
Oh,
knows
I don't
enough
like
to
this
know what
guy.
it shouldn't say.
I do not like this animal. He looks evil and he's British, so he sounds evil. I don't trust him.
I'd like to touch on a subject there that we kind of broached regarding asylum seekers, and I think we need to find a way to deal with this humanitarian crisis with more compassion, at the same time being fair to those who don't have the convenience of their geographical location being able to walk to our border. So there's people in other, separated by oceans that would like to come here for asylum who don't have that geographic convenience. So how do we be fair to them as well?
I mean, the answer to
Transporters.
how to be fair to them
Ideal
doesn't
solution
sound
to
like
that.
it should be to reject more people from Mexico.
No,
Like-
I'm not saying it is. I'm just
No,
saying
it's Madrid.
I want an equitable solution.
Well, I just want to say the Roman Empire fell because there were too many Gauls at the border. So we need to keep the barbarians out.
At the same time, you don't want to people make that trip and it's very dangerous, Gyrinx. Like
No, what
you
we
don't
need
want
to
people
do.
to make that trip
What we need to
and
do
die along the way.
is unify the Earth, whether through unification through an external alien threat or by conquest.
Wouldn't that be so boring though if we like homogenized the planet? We've seen in Star Trek like how boring a planet is when we rock up and like everyone's the
People
same.
love Earth. They have
So
the bridge. People
the
love
f-
the bridge.
The fastest way to do that is to give everyone U.S. citizenship.
I don't think
I don't think that would be a good idea.
No, it's a
I don't
crazy
think
thing, but
I
that
don't
would
think it
work.
would work because I don't think
It wouldn't work.
Like, there's that many countries that are actually like on board with something like that.
No, it wouldn't work that way. But I'm saying if you wanted to do that, right? Like just
Oh, you're so.
Did they explain, by the way, how they think the probe got here? Did they say the words like wormhole or interspatial flexure?
No, it just
didn't-
was
they didn't
launched. It
elaborate.
was just launched 100-something years ago, dude.
How fast was
Yeah,
it going?
but it was traveling at like
Warp
nothing speed. It
9.9999999.
wasn't even at warp.
No, it was at warp. It was
Well,
just
they
launched a couple
won?
hundred years ago.
It had
was
nacelles. It had
before, like,
NX era nacelles.
This is before like any Prime Directive or anything like that. So it's like
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
we
they didn't have
absolute
Prime
garbage
Directive in
engines.
Enterprise.
so
You
we're just
know?
broadcasting Vivaldi. That's fine.
People probably use it as like prison torture on this planet.
The Vivaldi.
Hmm.
Vivaldi
just play
definitely
over and
sounds
over
like
and
an alien species.
Coming to doom
We're
us.
receiving a transmission from the Vivaldi.
Vivaldis. I mean, the Vidians are pretty close.
Here's what I don't understand. Clearly, the Vivaldi would be a sign of intelligent, like life. They're like, what is that noise?
Well, also the fact that it's a space probe that goes to warp, that's probably a good sign too. Oh wow, Lieutenant Carey, he's here.
Yay, Lieutenant Carey, our first official.
The writers remembered he
Uh.
exists.
Am I? Wait a minute. What episode is this?
Season
is the
7,
episode he gets
episode
killed.
22.
Friendship one.
Oh
Friendship
no, it's this episode. Well, you know why
No,
he's
it's
here.
Lieutenant Carey. He's here now. He's gonna make it back to Earth. He's gonna.
So
He just has to survive for 3 more
keep-
episodes
They keep him on the ship all this time, don't utilize him as a character, and then just.
because they
Ugh.
forgot about him.
They
It's
just
not
take
even
him
a
down
joke,
there
they
so he can
literally
die,
forgot.
like-
So, I think Rick Berman wrote this episode because Balana
What did
wants
Lieutenant
to
Carey's
work.
actor do? Did he like say women are people, so they killed him?
And then Balana says here, okay, by the way, the word invalid, it's a word we used to use to refer to handicapped people, disabled people. But invalid kind of means like they're invalid. They're not really a person. So it's how we used to think about people with
So
disability.
invalid is invalid now.
Yes.
Yes. But here's the thing.
I don't think that's Rick Berman. I think it's the 90s.
Yeah,
I think it's just language changing that wasn't offensive at that point.
yeah, it's like when you say men, you mean men and women, or when you say the writer, he says this, or a person when he crosses the street, but you mean he or she, and you just say he. That was kind of the norm back then.
So this episode was actually written by Michael Taylor,
You
who
could say
did.
them.
Yeah, but
Michael Taylor also did The Visitor and In the Pale
I
Moonlight.
disagree.
When we grew up, we used to just say he, right?
No. If it was ambiguous, you would say they or them. Those words existed.
In my experience, people did always just use he as a default.
And Ryan's younger than us, so
If you didn't know,
I'm
even
not
he
older than him.
remembers. Yes.
I don't think I'm older than either of you, actually.
Right, you're younger. So,
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, though, even you grew up during that trend when, like, he was kind of the norm to say.
In formal writing, yeah, that was more common back then, but
Obviously-
they was already in common use. Yeah.
I do remember
fact,
a
he's back
period
to
of doing,
Shakespeare.
not in common use, but for myself would be S/he.
Yeah.
Oof.
Because I think he
That's
or
very-
she, you should never write he
that's-
or she because it looks stupid.
Right.
Well, it doesn't look stupid, but it makes it unnecessarily long. So
Right.
I'd rather do S/he than he or
Right.
she.
But it looks weird. Hard to pronounce.
But it's shorter.
Yeah.
In Spanish, they'll use the @ sign, the A with the circle around it, so if I do chicos, but I want to say chicos and chicas, so los chicos and las chicas, I would just do L@S chicos, CHIC @S.
So how they pronounce it though.
But it's understood that but when you're reading it, you're reading los chicos / las chicas in your head.
Okay,
But what if you're
Hang on,
saying
hang
something
on.
aloud?
If I can go back to Star Trek for a second, if you see that thing on the ground, do you really want to press a button? That looks like a bomb.
You know what that
it's
is?
like a grenade.
That's the little thing they use in the episode of Deep Space Nine where the guy gets very lucky.
Oh, with the quantum
with
rearrangement. Good one.
It was the neutrino spin.
Yeah.
What was that actor? He was the guy who played
He was
Lord
a,
Humperdinck. That's his
He
name,
was
Lord
an
Humperdinck.
Aloran.
Yeah, like
Lord Humperdinck.
like old.
Yeah,
old
from
women
Princess
From
Bride.
Princess
on ship.
Bride. Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure it's Lord Humperdinck is the actor. Go and look up that episode right now. I don't know what it's called, but I know the actor is Lord Humperdinck.
Is that his actual name?
No, that's...
No, he played
Is
Lord
that the
Humperdinck in
character
a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be so much better if that's his actual name.
It's
It
like,
would be.
there's no such thing as Patrick Stewart. There's only Captain Picard.
Yeah.
Yes. His personality
What
and
about-
persona have been subsumed.
Well, in Picard, yeah, he just plays himself as Picard. What about Professor Xavier?
No
Professor
such thing.
X.
You see, I personally don't really like X-Men, therefore Professor Xavier doesn't exist.
I don't like it,
Okay.
therefore.
Yeah, exactly. The only character in all of Star Trek who has their own name and not their character's name is Siddiq al-Tahil al-Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Makti. Everyone else is just their character.
You just love saying that.
I do. It's a good name.
It's because he doesn't act. He just reads lines.
Well, he
Who
got
does?
better in the later seasons. I love the
He was
time.
really bad at the beginning, especially when he had to play someone else in his body.
Yes, I
That
was
was the
just going to say,
worst.
I love that episode where Siddiq al-Tahil al-Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Makti plays the evil guy possessing him. and he's just it's amazing. I can't tell if he's trying too hard or not trying at all. Everything he
Someone
says
there?
is
Yes.
whispered with an evil tone.
I don't know how he got cast at all. I just don't know how anyone in their right mind, based on his
Because he has
performance
a
in
really
season
cool
one,
name, that's how.
I think it was money.
Like, are you implying that Sadiq was really cheap to hire or that he bribed them?
I guess it could go either way. Being a prince, he probably was like, I'm a prince. Somebody pulled some strings and got him on the show.
He really doesn't strike me as someone
Who would do that now?
who in any way uses the fact that they have royal relatives. I don't know that he ever even acknowledges it.
You
Will you
didn't
go
believe
ask
it,
that,
and I was like, when you have a name like that, when you have a name that has all your paternal line names, it's got to be because you're royalty, and you're like, I don't think so, and then, oh, he is. Oh, yeah, look at that.
There is that fan club for him called Sid City. We could ask them.
I don't
here we
think you'll
go.
get an honest answer out of a fan club.
It's like if you go to a subreddit dedicated to a video game and people are asking questions like, should I play this game? Should I try it? It's like, really? That's the audience you're asking? The fan club for that particular game?
Yeah.
Your probe. Oh, Lieutenant Carey's injured. He'll be okay. He just needs to get to sickbay.
Well, how long has it been?
Unclear. Antimatter, not
She says that
antimatter.
like
You know, she says
antimatter
that.
are uncommon, but they're not.
Yeah, photon torpedoes are antimatter. Like, why are you surprised?
Because they're
They've got
primitives.
lasers.
Well, that's just rude, Varen. Accidentally. It barely even counts as genocide.
Which genocide? What are you talking about?
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down? I'm looking at the different actors. It looks like this guy hasn't played anybody before, but the Admiral we talked to before, he was Isaac Newton on the holodeck. One of the radiation people, the lady that has the child,
Yeah.
she plays the valedictorian from Deep Space Nine, who knew all about the postganglionic nerves.
Yeah, I mean, how could you get caught out by something like that?
Or was it a postganglionic cell? Preganglionic nerve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't have passed the test. And this guy also played somebody. Who's this? Oh, this guy plays a Boolean on DS9.
You know, I gotta say the music for
Is he the barber?
No, God, why are you like this?
the music for this episode is also like especially touching. I gotta say, like this last season of Voyager, they touched on so many powerful themes. Like here, like they're all like this is hard to look at, right? Like his face is blown up from the radiation poisoning. This is not kid stuff. And then, by the way, later we get a stillborn baby being born. So I don't. It's also irradiated. So if you want to
It's
see,
like poor man's radiation poisoning, though. His skin's not even sloughing off.
true,
It's
but
like discount poisoning.
like I said, the effects on like babies in the womb is pretty awful too from nuclear detonation. So here we got a mutant baby. They really got to put a warning, like a content warning, in front of this episode because it's a lot to think about.
So there was a point in time I was really fascinated by all sorts of nuclear accidents during the early nuclear age, and
The
if I
history
remember
of
correctly,
them,
there
the
was
potential of them, causing them.
there was a accident at Los Alamos, a criticality event where there was a tank that had an aqueous solution of plutonium in it that had stagnated, and one of the scientists went to it and he was looking through an observation window and he turned on the stirring, and when he turned on the stirring, a vortex formed, and when it formed, the plutonium became critical, and he got hit with intense gamma rays through the visible, there was actual light coming through the porthole. It was so strong, and
So he's dead.
he screamed, ran outside into the snow, and then went unconscious. And he was unconscious from then on out. I guess it was he just died slowly and excruciating. And the government used it as an opportunity to study the effects of gamma radiation on people because they knew there was no way they could cure him, but they were just running all these tests, and the family was letting them do it because they thought, they were being told that this could cure him, it could save him, but really they were just doing research. And I think in the early 2000s, they won a lawsuit against the government for like $20 million or something.
The key takeaway is, if you ever get hit with a lethal dose of radiation, the correct answer, unironically, is probably to commit suicide before it takes hold. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's like the worst
Yeah.
possible way to die.
You watched Chernobyl, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like pretty much the people who were all by the plant, even anyone who was remotely near it, they all died, like deteriorating.
Excruciatingly, skin falling off. You
Like
The worst part of
your
that is
internal
eventually-
organs liquefy. It's bad.
Eventually, sedatives stop working because your body can't absorb it. So it's just like, just in
Just barely
pain now.
have a body anymore.
basically all the organs
euthanize
start
them.
failing.
There was a Russian scientist that was inside of a particle accelerator when they spun it up, and he had basically a proton had transversed through his brain, and he survived, and he had like symptoms similar to like a stroke victim where he had partial paralysis in his face and like his one side, but he survived, which is crazy.
Oh, he survived because it passed through, right? Instead of getting stuck.
Right.
So my whole life, I've always been somewhat
It would've-
pro-American.
You would
In
have
the
to
sense
absorb.
that
You
all
don't
that
have an extra
energy.
proton.
I supported Truman's decision to use the nuclear bombs in.
You supported Truman's decision, yeah?
How old are you,
So
my dude?
did he ask you before he did it, and you're like, yes, I support this decision?
Just generally, if you ask me what I thought of history, I'd say, okay, well, the Japanese didn't want to surrender. We have to use the bomb. But this year, kind of run into evidence where like U.S. Naval Command knew that they could just blockade Japan. Japan would automatically surrender. They didn't want to face Soviet invasion. Japan was on its way. Japan has no natural resources, so it's very easy.
It was gonna be a huge cost of life either way, and so the reason what they did, initially was they had two bombs. They knew they only had two bombs. Japan didn't know, but we knew. So we dropped the first bomb, and we said, "Hey, do you surrender?" They said, "No." We dropped the first bomb, and they go, "Hey, do you surrender?" And they said, "No." So we dropped the second bomb. They're like, "We'll keep doing this," but really it was a bluff. And they're like, "Okay, stop."
So, but the thing is, though, I think the cause of like this episode kind of shows the scale of human suffering when you have an entire planet or entire city or two where people just suffer like for no reason. And
Also, they really wanted to use the bomb to test its effectiveness. That's another thing.
it's just such a
On
horrific.
people?
They wanted to see how devastating it would be in a military application.
Tokyo was already firebombed.
And the bombs,
so bombing Tokyo.
yeah,
would
the
not
fire bombs was more.
Well, but you couldn't see the extent of the damage. So roughly speaking, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not as bombed, so you could see basically how much you did destroy. But
Well, the ones they used were really low yield compared to what we have today. That
Okay,
are roughly what
250,000 people
over
died.
1,000 times.
So
What do you
more
guys
powerful.
think is? How many years do you think we have left before we commit collective suicide with them? Because
yeah,
we've
I
got
think
a
that's the
lot.
running point of
Oh,
this episode too. I mean, this point, but sorry, was it? No, I mean, go ahead. Was it a
I think
discovery
our,
episode or
I think our
a?
instinct to preserve ourselves will keep it from happening.
I'm not.
We got pretty close to 1963.
I
I
think
mean,
so. Here's the thing.
it's happened up until now that we've managed not to do it, and the only thing that stops us from doing it is knowing the other guy will do it. So,
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't think some of these other little nation states that are developing weapons are going to have the same type of temperament that the United States and the other nuclear powers have had over the
They
last
only have to
half a
launch one.
century.
I mean,
Yeah.
Russia's invading another country as they speak, so I mean, I
Well,
don't
as
know.
bad as it sounds,
They-
like if a city gets hit by a nuke, it's not actually going to kill everyone. It will be bad, but it's not like the end of the world. Like it's often spun as like, oh, the world will literally end, but
No, but
that's not what
a
would
city
happen.
of 10 million people being wiped off that's economically pretty catastrophic for any country.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
but
if
it's
we
not like
wipe ourselves out with
humanity's
nuclear
going
bombs,
away.
we get a really sick slideshow we can show to some aliens in the future. That was a good slideshow. How long did Captain Pike have to prepare that? In the first episode of Strange New Worlds?
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. He probably had the TED talk like ready in his training.
Hey, I want to say, was it Discovery or was it Enterprise where they find an antimatter like warp core being used to power the civilization? I think it's Enterprise, right? Like because they have to sneak to the apothecary, or no? That's
Oh, the one with the
They were
apothecary is
used.
Enterprise.
yeah. Thanks.
Because that general plot line has happened multiple times, but the apothecary
yeah.
one is
That
Enterprise.
was a TNG plot too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
But
like the slideshow he gave. I was like, "There's no way these aliens will be convinced by that." And then they were like, "Mm-hmm," and I was like, "Yeah, there's no way."
Well, they only had like 5 minutes of
This
episode left. What do you
uniform
want?
looks like an Enterprise uniform. Look at what Neelix is in.
oh yeah.
Doesn't that look like an Enterprise jumpsuit?
hmm
Not enough pockets, but it does have the piping. Wait,
Oh,
have
this
they
is
shot
where Neelix
Lieutenant
gets
Carey yet? I was
Carey killed.
distracted.
No. This is
This is the bit where Neelix tries to sell his wares.
Unless you deprive them of food, sonic showers, take away their creature comforts.
But like,
Neelix, are you sure? Are you sure they don't harm people?
he's about to be a quintessential bad guy. Oh, by the way, so you usually don't get like that kind of executing hostages in Voyager, but again, they're really raising the stakes because they know the show's gonna end. I gotta say the music is fantastic for this episode. Like he kills Lieutenant Carey, but he's
I would
not
like
even
to
a bad
point
guy.
out you're saying this over a scene that has no music.
Yeah, but
There's just
Lieutenant
beeping.
Lieutenant Carey, like his death is so wonderfully portrayed because he's not even a bad guy. Like he blames the Federation for the ruin of his planet. So
But
is killing
is the
one.
death of Lieutenant Carey emotional? Because I don't think Lieutenant Carey is anyone's favorite character.
The music is portrayed very, very amazingly.
Pop music.
Like I know TNG didn't have an original orchestra for each episode after Best of Both Worlds, but I'm just wondering, did the last season of Voyager have a special
No,
orchestra to each
absolutely not. This is the same music we've always had.
They do such a good job. I'm just like, I was.
They have 2 battle songs. They have 2 talkie songs. They have 2 heroic songs.
Mm-hmm.
And they got, what, 176 episodes to use them in? How many people could possibly be left on the planet? Just nuke them
You
again.
imagine we got sent like some alien technology, destroyed ourselves, and then the aliens turn up and they're like, "Hey guys, we're here to help." Winky face.
Wow, they also use this plotline in Terra Nova. Except they say, like, if you don't want our tunnels, why are you trying to get them so badly? These are our tunnels. You can't have our tunnels.
Wait, why are they getting defensive at the tunnels?
Because they're their tunnels. And then Archer's like, oh, we can help you find better tunnels. We can fix your tunnels. And like, if you didn't want our tunnels, you wouldn't be trying to fix the tunnels. You must want our tunnels. With the diggers.
R.I.P.
He's okay. He'll make it. He's gonna transport back to the... They can just... If he does die, they'll just bring him back with nanoprobes. He'll be fine. He was in TNG. They can't kill a TNG character.
Was he?
Yeah. He was in the episode where Data gets the recall signal from Soong and takes over the Enterprise.
Huh.
Is that a pump-action laser shotgun? So with the complaint about Picard Season 3 with Beverly's pump-action laser shotgun. No, that was canon in Voyager.
Why are all these characters on this show, especially in Voyager, they like died one instant ago and the Doctor can't bring them back? Why?
It's more dramatic that way. They only revive people who matter. What are you going to do? Kill Neelix? What kind of threat is that? How long is Neelix even going to be here? Neelix has this episode, Natural Law, and then in Homestead, he'll go away. And this is the lady that's a valedictorian.
Is she human? Like in that episode?
Yeah, she was human.
Huh.
Oh, they're using up all the nanoprobes on this guy. They don't have any left for Carrie.
Must be some. Let's replace his heart with a hologram of what it did with Neelix. I don't know, for a while.
Look, the fact that you destroyed your world, that's your fault. You just have to deal with it.
Don't
I'm
be
sure-
stupid.
I'm sure if modern humans got access to antimatter, we would use it wisely and responsibly.
Well, we have it, Ryan. We have it now.
Okay, fine. If we got access to antimatter in more than a few micrograms for the whole planet.
There you go. Much better.
We got access to warp technology. What would we do with it?
We'd go to
We would
warp. We'd
probably-
explore the stars, form the Federation, surely.
Mhm.
What would happen is some really, really rich people would form a corporation where they'd hire regular people to go build them a resort on some other planet, and then they'll go move there because Earth is going to hell. And then all the people that worked on it get sent back home or just not sent anywhere.
But then what? The people are on some new planet with either no staff to serve them, so they have to do everything themselves, or they get to a
Robots.
place and their staff realize there's no need for
Robots.
money anymore. Screw the rich people. This is ours now.
Also, the planet would have to have a similar ecology to grow food and things.
Did you see Don't Look Up?
I saw the first half of it, then stopped because it was too depressing and just watched the very end.
Okay. That's
But yes,
kinda
I
what
know the scene
imagined.
that you're almost certainly referring to.
Yes.
It hurt to watch. It felt too much like how people actually act.
It's probably exactly
It
what
felt
would
too
happen, to be
realistic.
honest.
You missed. It's like that
That's
everyone's
clearly a
favorite
jelly,
comic.
this jelly thing. Like, it's a giant jelly baby.
It's fine. Babies are
Oh.
basically just jelly anyway.
Looks
Yes,
like a
the world
Binding of
was
Isaac
destroyed.
power-up.
But for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value for shareholders.
The thing that's like obvious is that Tuvok would not get he wouldn't get caught.
Why not?
Because he's the security man. He's too smart for that. But
Congratulations,
because
it's
he's
a
a
mutant.
security man, he's good if you give him a weapon.
Like his bow and arrow from his quarters. Oh, is evil radiation man having second thoughts?
Nope.
I saw a little bit of guilt on his face. God, they should have given Tuvok a beard. Wait, does Tuvok have a beard? Future Tuvok? I need to look up a picture of Picard Tuvok. Okay,
Has the Doctor ever done anything like that before?
Yeah.
there was that
He
one
did it
time
in
when they
the-
crashed in like rural Alabama or something.
What?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Alabama. It was Nevada. They
was some
landed. It was Doomsday
backwards hillbilly
Preppers.
land.
They were Doomsday Preppers.
What? What
Before
episode?
we had a word for Doomsday Preppers. It was the episode where he gets the mobile emitter when they go back to 1996 and meet Sarah Silverman.
And the people in the woods are like, oh, the government's coming for us. We gotta stop them.
It's the desert.
Oh yeah, and he just stands there and gets shot, and he's like, whatever.
Divine intervention is unlikely.
Which is a bit strange because you'd think if his mobile emitter got shot, that would be really bad.
Yeah, it
would.
worked out though. Don't worry about it.
Because I
But
mean, there's been
normally you
plenty
don't
of
aim
times
for
where-
someone's shoulder.
Yeah, but there's been plenty of times where someone's just slapped his mobile emitter, and that's like enough to take him offline.
Yeah, he should have put it on the bottom of his heel. Where no one can see it.
Aha,
there
the
is an
baby is
episode-
ours now.
There's an
Or just have it in the
episode-
center of his. Have it in the center of him, just projecting outward.
Because then it would have been hit by the shotgun.
True.
There's an episode where he has it in his boot.
Bottom of the heel
and
is
he
best.
pretends to be Janeway.
It's a good idea.
Gus, what did he say?
He has it in his boot in the episode where he pretends to be Janeway
Ah.
and like 3 other people.
Why is your
Yeah.
name Gus now?
Because that's the
Because
real-
he was forced to change it.
That's the real spelling.
he got the little notification that said he had to choose a name, and Argos was already taken, so he had.
No, it wasn't. Argos is the name of a retail shop here. It's the wrong spelling.
Oh, okay.
Ah, so you changed it to Argus after the Argus Array,
Yeah,
the
that
Federation
was
Subspace Telescope.
that was my original intent, but I spelled it wrong.
You didn't spell it wrong, no?
I did.
At least your display name is correct. ARGUS, the Argus Array.
I know. I mean, I spelled it wrong the first time.
Ah. You didn't intend to name it after the shop?
No. Is this the one where they set the atmosphere on fire?
No, that was Enterprise.
That was Next Generation. That was the episode with the Rasmussen, played by Max Headroom.
Maybe that too, but also in Enterprise, Silic taped some kind of bomb to a nacelle and blew up an atmosphere.
Yeah. But this exact scenario was on the episode with the Rasmussen, where they needed to like vent all this stuff, this plasma from the atmosphere, to destroy the dust and then vent the plasma into space. And they had like one chance to do it, or they were going to kill everybody on the planet. And then the guy gets found out to be a fake time traveler. Well, he's a real time traveler. He was a fake
And then
historian.
Picard slaps Data in the face with a phaser.
Yeah.
In the bloopers. Yes, by healing one child, we can take their entire planet from them. They won't suspect a thing.
We also lost to Kerry.
He doesn't even count. Nobody cares about Lieutenant Carey.
I do.
Do you really?
It annoys me that they neglected him for so long and then just brought him back so he could die.
They remembered he existed just in time to use him to increase the stakes.
Another 2 torpedoes down. I'm sure there's plenty left. It's probably fine.
Yeah, they can manufacture them now, it's fine. That's really not good. 18%.
Oh yeah, they still have the antimatter missiles. Yes. Destroy Voyager. No, you can't destroy Voyager now. Neelix isn't on it. Well, I guess they can just shoot him. It's fine.
And they just shoot it down.
Point defense, yeah. We see point defense, once in Star Trek? When the Enterprise D is going through those, they have their memories wiped.
Mm-hmm. And it just
They have to go through the sentry
obliterates like
pods.
20 ships.
Like one time they have point
those-
defense.
Those weapon props are used a lot. The one that she has.
Yeah, they're normally like not painted black though.
Yes, he is in command. Because he has the smooth skin. He's the only one here who's not a ghoul. The sun. Janeway's long-term plan is to give them skin cancer now.
I mean, and the way their skin is, they're gonna be donezo just with one day of sunlight.
Oh, the pus is a natural sunscreen. You just pop one of those pustules
Ooh,
and rub it all
Hallmark.
over. He was almost done.
All you have to do is pop one of the pustules, then rub the goo all over your face. You'll be fine.
Yep.
And it
Lovely.
makes a nice snack. Didn't anyone here build ships in bottles?
That outtake is so good.
I'm very proud of that one for the O'Brien saying he'd played with boys. Didn't anyone?
No, Worf.
Yeah, no, Worf said, I never
Worf said he
played
doesn't
with
play
boys.
with boys.
And
Yeah.
then I had O'Brien say, I did, sir.
Yeah.
It's like, no, O'Brien, you can't say that.
And he says it with like a little smile. I did, sir.
It is getting much more difficult to make intakes because I have already done all the good ones. All the ones that are really good and all the ones that are easy to make. Now it's just hard.
I mean, the quality is still really high.
Hard. All the good things in life, or the things worth doing, are hard.
You say so. So, next week, Natural Law, don't know what that is. Homestead, the one where Neelix goes away forever. And Renaissance Man, where the Doctor takes over the ship and puts an emitter in his boot or something.
Yeah.
He impersonates half the crew. Well, half the main cast. The only crew that matters. What's Natural Law, though? I have no idea what episode that is. Just trying to open it up to skim.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh. It's an episode where Seven and Chakotay crash on some primitive world, and they make friends with the locals. And then the B plot is Tom Paris takes flying lessons.
What?
He gets in trouble with the alien traffic cops, and then he has to take a driving test at the alien DMV.
And then he has to, like, yeah, the guys.
The DSV, the Department of Space
for the
Vehicles.
rules.
Yes.
So this
And
is
then Tom
this is
does,
the
like,
start
some
of the shipping
arrows.
arc of Seven and Chakotay.
No, it's part 2 of the shipping arc. Because we already had the one with hologram Chakotay. You know, the hologram of Chakotay that Chakotay didn't consent to in any way.
Yeah, he just doesn't know that she's doing it.
Because that's probably fine. Just making essentially deep fakes of your coworkers to romance. It's probably fine. Anyway, this stream's over. The week shall perish.
We shall perish.
The higher, the fewer.
And happy birthday, America. As much as we mock you and denigrate you and say you have terrible internal systems and major systemic problems, but happy birthday, America.
Yeah, man. America. Go shoot some guns.
From your gun wall.